I'm sure most of these tribute speeches about one or both parents, and I am proud to say that mine is too. My father has dealt with every hardship in his life with a kind hand and a forgiving attitude. I have always admired him for his open, understanding heart, and it's actually quite difficult to express how kind he is towards everybody, even those who have cut him deepest. What I admire most is that he's become also a father figure to many of his students who have been abandoned by their families. For he is a true idol, and I can only hope this speech gives him a fraction of the credit he deserves. Mark Wright was born in New York, Smyrna to be exact, a town of about 75 people, one street, one fire station, one store, no police, and a lot of dairy farms. It's personally one of my favorite places to go, simply because of its simplistic and beautiful way of life. However, according to my dad, growing up there was something completely different. He always tells us outrageous stories about him trekking through 4-foot-high snow to get to the bus stop at 4 in the morning, waking up to feed the cows in 0 below weather, and how Grandma would feed him peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches for meals, simply because they were cheap and put warmth on your bones. He wasn't just poor, he was dirt poor. And like most children at that age, he hated it, because he got made fun of for it. But it's something that taught him that he needed to appreciate everything in life. He took it with a second wind, and those peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches, they're nasty, don't ever try them. After graduating Doane College in Lincoln, Nebraska, my dad married his first wife, Shelley. Unfortunately, that's about all I know about her, is just her name, for she chose her lifestyle over our small family. My dad moved to Angleton, Texas, to raise his 2 young girls, while he coached full-time at the high school. People always talk about mothers struggling, single mothers, but nobody really talks about fathers, and especially raising 2 young girls. He would come home after work with us. He always took us to work because he was scared to leave us with anybody else. Took us home, did all the chores, cooked us dinner, and was always so genuine towards us. His love never broke stride, even though he was always stressed about money. That's one of the things in my life I wish I could be, is that loving and genuine as a person, even when I'm stressed out. The person that my dad trusted most with us is the person I call my mother. She had a lot of issues coming into her family. She just got out of a dreadful marriage and had a lot of ghosts in her closet from her childhood. She had just had my baby brother and was driving back and forth from Houston to go to medical school. She was pretty much raising 3 children and being in college, but worse. Even though the stress in my parents' marriage was unbelievable. I watched the relationship take countless ups and downs, and even then, my dad's love never broke for her. She destroyed him many times, and she was still the wind beneath his wings. That forgiveness, when witnessing all of what he forgave her for, is something that's really inspiring to anybody. He never let my sister and I give up on my mother either, and that's forgiveness is a major key why he's my tribute. After I moved to Granbury, Texas, to let my mom expand her pediatric office, and my dad coached at the high school, he became an idol to most of his players, somebody wise and honest to talk to. After a few years, he got promoted. He didn't go to some college. He didn't get a better job. He went to the detention ward. When you go through Granbury, you see that's a comfortable community, a fairly wealthy community, but these detention warders are the kids that the school tried to weed out. They're the kids that were just passed through each grade to get their teachers' hairs, even though they couldn't even read. They were in 7th grade. They're the students, the teenagers, who are going through hard drugs, pregnancy, and they're rejected and broken by their families. My dad started taking weekends to go buy clothing and food for these kids. He had taken on a role and he felt responsible to be a leader in their life. Even though he disciplined them greatly for the actions that they did do. They looked up to him as a parent. He was the only figure in their life that was stable. He never understood why people would wait outside his room at 6 a.m. It was because that in their crazy lives, that was totally out of the normal. He was the only thing that could really direct them. He never talked down upon them, ever. He respected them as a person. He talked to them as a grown-up. He never hushed them and never brushed them aside. And that's why I think he was their only trustworthy source to a healthy lifestyle. My dad is a beautiful person who will always treat you with respect and kindness. He is a person who is honest but never hurtful. He is a person who sees the best in people and has the magic to bring it out no matter what the circumstance. My father is the person I aspire to be one day, and I can only pray to be respectful, loving, as wise, and forgiving as he is. The end.